Hare Rama నోట్స్ అక్కడ పెట్టే తీసేసి దారిగా ఉంది అది దాన్ని పెట్టి టేక్ ద ఫుడ్ సమ్వేర్. ఇదిగా
Hare Rama Hare
Anybody wants to sing? Any other tune? Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Mataji want to move a little bit forward here. We have room here. Prabhuji, can you? Mataji come forward. Probably tippandi ante paina camera tippandi. You don't need to move that part. Yeah, just fine.
Hare
Maharaj will be here in 5 minutes. I just got a call. So we need to type of things.
What's your last name?
Hare He said he wants
one more to go. Yes. About that, then it's broken. It's because people know that is that good?
Let's go.
It's totally broken. Well, what do we do? Who's got a bright idea?
Sticky tape.
Who has a bright idea? You're going to stand there and you don't want to stand there for a minute. Let go.
Greedy, let go.
Maybe like turn it around. Turn it around one
This
round.
way.
No.
Not the stand. No, the top part. The top part. Top part.
Another tape.
Anyway, go ahead and try this.
Just stick that paper.
Oh my.
It's not really going to work. What do you need is sticky tape. This is strong sticky tape. Okay, let's see. Maybe it'll stick. I don't have much faith in it. Krishna.
He did something. It was good or so far?
Tape this one. Tape.
First of all, this that's good. And now the tape. That's good. Now, see if you can sticky tape this so it stays stuck. And what is it that moves? That's stuck. So, no, that won't do anything. You have to stick this part to the yeah, so you have to stick this down here so that this goes. So you're sticking to the part that moves. That all moves together.
Yeah.
You have to stick that to the part that's stationary. You're not doing engineering, are you? Okay, that's going to do it.
This is perfect. Just go.
Well, that holds that part. Now you need to stick this part to that. This is fine. Now this won't move, but this moves. Now that this is stationary, you have to fix this to that. Then we'll be 100%. Good. Probably good. Don't make too many more changes or we'll be in trouble. Okay. Everyone correct. And now it's time for the holy cell phone check. All the cell phones should be
Vibrate mode.
vibrate or airplane is still, you get extra points for airplane mode. Okay, should I jump right in or should we translate? Just jump right in? Should we jump right in then? Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, text 13. And if you still have your phones and if it has the text in it, then you're good. And does everyone have a book or something? You have books, okay, let's send them out there.
Quick. Probably just share. You want to get you back and
Ready? Okay. We need our engineers back. We have to move this. Don't move that. Just move the whole stand. You move the, no. Move, pick up the stand and move it.
I'll get free.
Let go. Listen. Let it go to where it's going to be. Now move the whole stand so that it's in the right place. Little closer. Okay, now that's pretty. Good. Almost good. Okay.
Prabhu, I can sit here and
You're not going to sit there with your hand on it. No, just let it go.
Let go.
yeah.
And is that window open, door open, so people get some ventilation?
Put the mesh.
Yajya
Jna.
Shishtashinah Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbishaihi Kunjate Te Tu Agham Apa Ye Pachanti Atmakarana Yajna Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbishaihi Punjate Te Tukam Papa Ye Pachantyatmakarana Yajna Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbishaihi Punjate Te Tukam Papa Ye Pachantyatmakarana Some of us.
Arjuna Vacha Yagna Shishtashinah Santo
That's Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
It's Bhagavan.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yagna Shishtashinah Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbishai Punjate Te Tvagam Papa Ye Pachantyatmakaranam Yagna Shishtashinah Santo Muchyante Sarvakilbishaihi Punjate Te Tvagam Papa Ye Pachantyatmakarana
Yajna of food taken after performance of yajna. Ashinaha eaters. Santaha the devotees. Muchyante get relief. Sarva all kinds of. Kilbishaihi from sins. Bhunjate, enjoy, te, to, but, agham, grievous sins, apaha, sinners, ye, who, pachanti, prepare food, atmakarana, for sense enjoyment. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. Purport. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called santahas, and they are always in love with their Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjanach churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The santas, being always in a compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasure, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees always perform yajnas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performances of yajnas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtan Yajna in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world. Four. Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananashalankaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Brahmanyam Dadati Svadantikam Vande Mam Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakamaham Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Upam Svagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Svavadutam Harina Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Radhagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karunamuro Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste
Taptakanchana Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhatta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Yagyashishtasina santo muchante sarva kilbishai Punjate te tukham papa ye vichantyatmakarana. In the previous verse, the Lord has said that that we're getting everything from the personality of Godhead and His assistants, the demigods. So if we simply take and don't give, then we're thieves. Just like sometimes, just like your electricity is being provided by the government. So, of course, they have an arrangement, you can't take it, but in India, for example, they run a line off the electric circuit, and they just take the electricity. And then there's propaganda from the government that don't do this because you're reported if you see it being done. Because it's stealing. It's stealing. That electricity doesn't belong to us, it's government property, and you're supposed to pay. And if you don't pay, you can be punished. So many things. They're not our property. So if we take someone else's property for our own enjoyment, then we're thieves. That's the definition of thief. Someone who takes someone else's property for his own enjoyment. He's a thief. So Isha Vashamidam Sarvam. Everything is the property of Isha, the personality of Godhead. So if I think, let me enjoy it for myself, then I'm a thief. Yo punkte stena evasa. The Lord clearly says, the person who takes the paraphernalia of this world for his own enjoyment is a thief. There's an arrangement that everyone's entitled. Tena tyaktena punjita. Everyone has a portion. But that should be accepted as the remnants of yajna, or sacrifice. Specifically, food is mentioned here because anvat bhavanti bhutani. All living beings subsist on food. So our food is very important. So the Lord says, when we offer our food in yajna, then we're liberated from all sins. Yajyartat karmanon yatra loko yam karma bandhana. Everything should be done for the sake of yajna, or Lord Vishnu. Another name of Lord Vishnu is yajna. BVJaiAdvaitaMR0823201414. Yajna means to satisfy Lord Vishnu. So everything should be done for the satisfaction of the Lord. So Santa means a devotee, and Prabhupada's explained that. The devotees offer everything to Krishna in yajna. Yajna Shishta, and then they accept whatever there is as the remnants of yajna. The remnants of yajna. Yajna Shishta Santo. And the result is muchyante, they're freed from all sins. Sarvakilvisha. All sins, if you want to know what all sins mean, you can look in the 9th chapter, in the purport to text 2, Srila Prabhupada has quoted. Aparabdham, let's find it. Aparabdha, page 377. Palam papam kutam bijam palomukam. Kramenaya vartaliye ta Vishnu bhakti ritatmanam. By Vishnu bhakti, by Krishna consciousness, one gets freed from all of these sins. Prarabdha karma, aparabdha karma, the results which we're suffering now. If someone is very sickly, or very poor, or uneducated, or ugly, or in this way, that means the mature result of sinful activities. I have to take it now. Then there are other sinful reactions that have not yet hit me, but they're going to hit me. At any time, the result of those past sinful activities may come. I may be hit by a car, I may fall prey to some disease, someone may steal my money, anything may happen because of sinful activities I've performed. Then, there are the sinful activities I'm performing now. So later, I'll become responsible for those. Then, there are other sinful activities I'm thinking about performing. Because I'm thinking of it, I'll do it. Because I do it, I'll suffer. Then, I'm not yet thinking of it, but the seed of desire is there. Bij. Bij means the seed of desire is there. It's not yet mature, but it will come out. Probably give the example just like a child. The child has no sex desire. But the seed is there. When the child grows up, then there'll be sex desire. So, or the seed, it's not a tree, but in time it will become a tree. So these are different stages of reactions for sins. What I'm getting now, what I may get at any moment, what I'll get for what I'm doing, what I'll get for what I'm about to do, planning to do, thinking of doing. The reaction that I'll get for things I'm not even planning to do, but the seed is there because of my past activities. Prabhupada explains, just like someone, he's committed a crime, so he's in prison. Someone else, he's not in prison, but the police are after him and they'll catch him. Someone else is in the midst of committing a crime, then the police will come after him. Someone else is planning a crime. Someone else is not yet planning, but he will. So all of these different stages of sin and reaction are counted as sarva-kildishai. They come under the general category of sin. The sin I've committed, the sin I'm thinking of committing, and so on. But muchyante sarva-kildishai. Simply by taking the remnants of food offered in yajna, one can be freed from all sins. Therefore, in our program of Krishna consciousness, a very important item is to distribute Krishna Prasad. Our program is a 4-point program: chanting, dancing, philosophy, and feasting, or distribution of prasad. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's program. Actually, for the people in general, simply chanting and dancing and prasadam. And when there's someone little intelligent, then philosophy. So the distribution of prasadam is meant to be performed as part of the yajna. In the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I think it said, mantrahina madakshina. What is that? Vitihinam ashrishtanam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parijak. There's sacrifice in goodness, sacrifice in passion, sacrifice in ignorance. So this is sacrifice in ignorance. Vidihinam, where we don't follow the rules and regulations, we just make up something. And adakshinam, no dakshina for the priest. Mantrahinam, no mantras chanted. And shraddha virahitam, no faith actually in the process, it's just for show, just. And ashrishtanam, no distribution of prasad. So that's a sacrifice in ignorance. No faith, no prasad distribution, no proper mantras chanted, no dakshina offered, no rules and regulations followed, just mental concoction. So this yajna means there must be prasad. We saw in Srila Prabhupada's program, he would speak in the evenings or in the mornings at 26 Second Avenue or other places, or even some public program. And there had to be prasadam. It didn't matter whether it was big prasadam, at least if nothing else, he would find out there's no prasadam, he would have some devotee sit and cut up an apple or something like that, and then the prasadam would be distributed. There had to be prasadam. Otherwise the yajna is not properly performed. So this should be our program. We chant Hare Krishna, we dance, we distribute some philosophical teaching, and we distribute prasadam. In Africa, this is our program also. Chant Hare Krishna, distribute prasadam. And some books for the more intelligent people. Everywhere, our whole movement is effective on this platform. Chanting Hare Krishna, distribution of prasadam, some philosophy, complete. Otherwise, without prasadam, it's not complete. And simply to distribute prasadam here and there without chanting Hare Krishna, that's also not our program. To drop off food in hospitals and orphanages and old age homes, that's not what Prabhupada, disaster areas. Prabhupada told us not to do that. But when we go at our temples or when we go out for Sankirtan chanting, then the prasadam distribution is there as part of the program. It's not like putting fluoride in the water supply. We don't just distribute here, distribute there. But where there's kirtan, and especially in our temples, then there must be prasadam. So that's the first thing. And the result will be people will become purified. Prabhupada said, you may say, what is this? You're just cutting up some fruit and you're calling it prasadam. It's just a kind of a gimmick that you cut up an apple and you say, oh, this is prasadam. But we see that by taking this Krishna prasadam, people become purified. If someone simply attends the program, takes Krishna prasadam, he may understand philosophy, not understand, he becomes pure. Narad Muni, he was serving the Bhakti Vedantas, and he mentions that once only, by their permission, I took some of their prasadam. Mahaprasadam. The result was that their nature rubbed off on me. They were attracted to Krishna, I became attracted to Krishna. So someone may say, oh, you're just calling it up. No, you take this prasadam, your consciousness will change. And we see that in our practical activities of spreading Krishna consciousness. It's such a nice thing. one becomes purified. Antakatam papa. Why are people agreeing? All right, no illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxicants. This is their way of life. But when they take Krishna prasadam and hear the holy name of Krishna and associate with devotees, they become purified. Then they give up these things. Give up sinful activity. So, yagya shishtashina, and after one takes up the process of Krishna consciousness also, one stays purified by accepting Krishna prasadam. Especially those who are spreading Krishna consciousness, they're in the contaminated zone, but by taking Krishna prasadam, they remain immunized. They remain immunized. By chanting Hare Krishna, by taking prasadam. So it's for the beginners and it's for the advanced devotees also to take Krishna prasadam. Yagyashishtashinas santo muchyante sarvakilvishai. One is freed from all sins. Our problem is the residual sins. And our treatment is, just as in medical, in Ayurvedic treatment, there are two things. There's medicine and there's diet. The Vaidya will say you take this, this, and this, and this food you avoid, this food you take. Medicine and diet. So our medicine is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And our diet is Krishna prasadam. Muchyante sarvakilvishai. One will be purified of all, freed from all sins by this medicine and this diet. Bhunjate te tukam papa ye pachanti atmakarana. Pachanti means cooking, preparing food. Atmakarana. Atmakarana means for one's own sense enjoyment. Bhunjate, te, tu, but those who are taking prasadam, they're purified of all sins, but bhunjate, those who are enjoying the food prepared for sense gratification, what are they getting? Agham papa. Papa, agham papa, they're getting sinful reactions. The devotees who are taking prasadam are getting freed from sinful reactions. And the non-devotees who are eating food prepared simply for their own taste, their own enjoyment, they're increasing their stock of sinful reactions. The devotees are diminishing the stock. The materialists are increasing their stock. Therefore, our principle is to eat only Krishna prasadam, the food offered to Krishna. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi dadasya, yad tapasyasi, kaunteya, tat kurusha, vadarpanam. Krishna says, whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever you offer, it should be on my account. It should be offered to me. So the system is that the food should be offered to Krishna. This is one of the important principles of devotional service. It's not a very difficult thing. Everyone is cooking at home. Of course, I shouldn't say that. In the modern context, even people don't cook. They go to the store and they buy something ready-made and it's all done. No cooking, no nothing. Otherwise, they cook. But in either case, it's for sense gratification. The food company has prepared something to make a buck, and they're selling it to you. Or you're preparing something at home, for your own material enjoyment. In either way, one is becoming entangled. So that can be changed very simply. One can keep the deity, just as here the deity is standing. One can keep the deity at home, or a picture of Krishna. And whatever you cook, you offer to Krishna, or even what not cooked, fruits, flowers. Krishna says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya priyachriti tadaham bhakti paratam ashnami prayatma. If you offer me even a fruit or leaf or water with bhakti, with love, I'll accept it. I'll eat that. So, and Krishna is very kind. He doesn't eat it and take it away. He eats it and leaves you the remnant. So you can make this simple adjustment. You're already taking something to eat. You're already cooking something. So offer that to Krishna. And what is the result? Your consciousness changes, first of all. You think that I'm preparing this for Krishna. I have to do it nicely so that Krishna will enjoy. Of course, in married life, the wife is thinking, I'll cook this for my husband, I'll cook this for my children. And there's some love there. But this is greater love. Let me offer to Krishna and then distribute the prasadam to the husband, to the children. That's real love. Otherwise, it's just love on the material platform. But in Krishna consciousness, that love is elevated to the spiritual platform. Let me cook and offer to Krishna, and then distribute the prasadam to everyone. So then the whole home becomes purified by love for Krishna. And now the food is not just food prepared for me. The food is now sanctified. Now please don't text during the class. Now the food is purified. So by taking that Krishna prasadam, the whole atmosphere becomes sanctified. Muchante sarva kilvishay. One is becoming freed from sinful reactions instead of entangled in sinful reactions. So that principle can be followed at home. That whatever we prepare, simply offer to Krishna first, and then distribute it. Not very difficult. Of course, it means that we can't offer everything. People ask, why no onions? Why no garlic? Because Krishna is not an onion eater. He's not a garlic eater. He's not a meat eater, a fish eater. Patram pushpam palam toyam. So what Krishna is asking for, we offer to Krishna. We offer to Krishna. And we learn, yes, let me be satisfied with what's offered to Krishna. So when we're Krishna conscious, we're not the vegetarian society. We're not trying to spread vegetarianism. We're spreading prasadam, prasadatarian. Take Krishna prasadam, and then vegetarian is automatically included. Automatically. So one can easily observe this principle at home and mold one's life in such a way that he's simply taking Krishna prasadam. In the original Prabhupada, when he was at 2nd Avenue, he wrote up some basic rules for the devotees to follow. And one of them was, should not eat food cooked by the non-devotees. The non-devotees are cooking atmakarna for their own sense gratification. Either directly they'll cook and eat, or they'll cook and make money, or or cook and in some way advance their material life. So the principle of Krishna consciousness, because consciousness is transferred by food. Just the mother is cooking for the husband or children, so the love of the mother is invested in that food. And therefore, in the modern way of life, the family life falls apart because even that expression of love is eliminated. Why should I cook? I'm working and I'm buying something quick from the store. So that loving exchange is subtracted. And we think we're advancing. Or looking at it from the other side, why are they in Bombay all that trouble to go through that whole tiffin system? Because apart from we like the food cooked by my wife, but it's a loving exchange. We don't want to sacrifice them, so they go through such an elaborate arrangement. So the consciousness is invested in the food. That means if a person is sinful, that consciousness is transferred also. That consciousness is transferred also. And if the person is Krishna conscious, that's transferred. Therefore, elsewhere in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya says that if one eats grains cooked by the non-devotees, dushto heloman, his mind becomes wicked, polluted. We're trying to purify our minds, but when we eat food that's prepared with low consciousness, our consciousness takes a dive. One is meant to be elevated by eating. It's such a nice thing, in Bhakti Yoga, one can be elevated by eating. But one has to practice the principle, that I'll eat the food that will purify me. What is that? The food which is offered to Krishna. Just like the old Indian tradition, the wife is eating the remnants of the food from the husband's plate. What? She's thinking, I'm the servant of my husband. That's the idea. So the devotee is thinking, I'm the servant of Krishna. So I'll only take the food which is first offered to Krishna. And in that way I'll maintain that mentality that I'm the servant of Krishna, which is my actual position. And when we simply eat food for sense gratification, then it's like, I'm the servant of my tongue, I'm the servant of my belly, I'm the servant of this and that. So Prabhupada gave that principle, should not eat food cooked by the non-devotees. The opposite is that, then what? Then I should eat the food prepared by the devotees and offer to Krishna. It's a simple principle, but very important also, and often neglected. We think, well, this, that, vegetarian. You look at the ingredients. They should put a stamp on the box, food cooked by non-devotees. Atmakarana. Prepared simply for sense gratification. It may be the nicest food, but when it's prepared for sense gratification, the devotee is not interested. Even Krishna, he's of a similar nature. Krishna wants to accept the food from his devotee, not from the materialist. Yome bhaktya priyashriti. When Krishna went to Hastinapur, then Duryodhana, who was the crown prince, wanted to offer Krishna very opulent meal, Krishna said, nothing doing. I don't want your polluted food. I'll go to the house of Vidura, and even if I'm offered banana peels, I will eat. But yeah, because it's offered with love. So Krishna doesn't want to eat anything except the food offered in love by the devotee, and the devotee doesn't want to eat anything except the prasadam of Krishna. By following that principle, his consciousness remains purified, becomes purified, remains purified. There's so many hotels, restaurants, so many arrangements for eating. The devotee avoids those. The airline food, prepared for sense gratification. So it's actually not very difficult. I'm traveling all over the world, and wherever I go, some arrangement can be made for taking Krishna Prasadam. Prabhupada would travel all over the world, he'd take a tiffin with him on the airplane. So it's a simple thing, but very powerful for purifying our life. And therefore we should do this. Devotional service doesn't mean that we just live like everybody else. They haven't read Bhagavad Gita, or they haven't taken it to heart, so they eat anything and everything. And maybe they've read and they say, okay, but they don't do it. They don't do it. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, yes, what you tell me I'll do. That's a devotee. The non-devotees, even if they say yes, Bhagavad Gita, but they don't do it. Stena, because they're thieves still. And the devotee, he says, yes, Krishna has asked me. Patram Pushpam, he's begging, even please give me a little water, a little beef, yes, why not? In this way there's a loving exchange. Tadati pratigranati, to give something and receive something, to give some food, to receive some food. These are loving exchanges. So the devotee participates in a life of loving service to Krishna by exclusively eating Krishna Prasadam. That's his principle. And you'll see the result. Maybe I'll stop there and take some questions.
Maharaj, we were discussing about aprarabdha and prarabdha karma. Is it related to only sinful reactions or whatever comes up in life?
Yeah, whatever comes up in our life resulting from sinful reactions. Aprarabdha, aprarabdha.
So we are talking only about the sad part, distress part.
No, the happiness part is also a result of sinful reactions. There's two kinds of sinful reactions, or two kinds of sins. One is called sin and one is called piety. They're both sinful, actually. That is to say, pious activities are meant for my enjoyment in this world, and sinful activities are meant. Therefore Krishna says, Shubha Shubha Palayare Evam Moksha Se Karma Bandhana. The devotee gives up both the results of pious and impious activities. He takes up Krishna consciousness, which is beyond pious and impious. The materialist is the sinful person. He wants to enjoy by hook or by crook. And the materialist wants to enjoy by following a program of pious activities, karma kandi. But the devotee's purpose is not, let me enjoy by following. One is just like driving this way and that way. The other is following the rules of the road. But their goal in both cases is sense enjoyment. And the devotee follows the rules of the road, but his goal is different. He has a different destination. His destination is the satisfaction of Krishna and the spiritual world. So, even if someone, suppose I was saying person's born ugly, born poor, so that's a result of sinful reactions. Someone else is born beautiful, educated, good family, good money, that's a result of pious activities. As a result of those pious activities, he's taken birth with all those assets. But he's taken birth. So taking birth means suffering. He's in the first class person's cell. He has bars made of silver instead of bars made of iron. In his cell they give a pillow. But it's a cell. So sinful or pious, it's all sinful. Therefore we're not impressed. Somebody says, yes, I'm vegetarian. We don't care. You're sinful. Stay native. Why? Atmakarana, your vegetarian diet is for your sense gratification. So you'll feel good, so you'll look young. It's for your own enjoyment. You may be considered pious. You're not eating chicken, you're not eating fish, you're not eating beef. You're eating your sakahari, you're just taking vegetables, fruits. But it's for your sense gratification. So still papa. Just your sinful activities are in the shape of nice vegetarian food instead of nasty. But still you have to take the reactions. So the devotee gives up both pious and impious activities. He's not interested in vegetarian or, veg or non-veg, neither. Prasad. Otherwise I'm not interested. It's not that if the restaurant is veg, then that's something. No, he goes where there's Krishna Prasad. Okay.
Maharaj, you said that prasadam should only be where Krishna's names are or in temples and areas.
Distribution of prasadam.
Right. Why is it like that?
His Prabhupada said. Otherwise we become like a welfare. Actually, Prabhupada explains. Otherwise it becomes karma kanda. What is karma kanda? Karma kanda means like pious, charitable activities. The Red Cross, the Green Crescent, all of these. So Krishna consciousness movement is not meant for that. We're not meant to be the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, the Green Crescent, this, that. Their idea is to uplift people by seeing that they get good meals, that they can stay in school, that they can get proper nutrition, they have a proper place to stay, they get proper medical care. There's so many mission societies where that's their purpose. And Prabhupada didn't want us to be confused, either by the public or by among ourselves, with mundane charitable activities, karma kanda. He told Giriraj Maharaj was president of Bombay, and he reported to Prabhupada that we're distributing prasad. Prabhupada said, very good, and try to increase it, but don't go to the poor areas. Why should we target the poor? Everyone is poor. The rich are also poor, because they're not Krishna conscious. When I was there was some disaster, one of those typhoons or something, and there were posters all over Bombay for everybody wanted to have their picture taken in that place, helping the poor people. And I remember there was one big poster, Sonia Gandhi, and she's asking people to please help and blah, blah, blah. So she doesn't, I don't want to say that, but purpose was clear. She's a politician, so her interest is how my political career will advance. And there were so many organizations helping people that the actual organizations couldn't help people. The roads were all clogged with people who wanted to be seen helping. We're helping people too. So give us money, give us prestige, give us honor. The Prabhupada didn't want that. one of the mundane welfare organizations. Chanting Hare Krishna is not on the level of karmakandiya activities. Distributing prasadam is not on the level of karmakandiya activities. So Prabhupada, and it's easy to go to that, because if you say, well, what are you doing to people? What are you doing to help people? Right? What are you doing to help people? What are we doing? We're giving them the remedy for birth and death. Enechyo shodhi maya nashi brahma. Harinam Mahamantra Lautunima. Take this chanting of Hare Krishna. This is the medicine for birth and death. You'll get free. Mukta Sangha Paramprajayat, and you'll go back to your eternal position. No, what are you doing to help people? See? Their idea of helping people means food, clothing, this, that. That's not our program. That's not our program. What are we doing to help people? We're giving them the knowledge, the process by which to get free from material existence. That solves every problem. Food problem, AIDS problem, homelessness problem, mental problem, social problem, every problem. You're only dealing with this problem or that problem. You give him some food, then he says, but I have no place to stay. You give him a place to stay, but now I've got AIDS. You do something about AIDS, you say, now I've got this. I've got a mental problem. You help him with his mental problem, he gets run over by a truck. You can't solve the problems of this material world by any amount of welfare work. And Srila Prabhupada didn't want us to try or to imitate those who are doing that. So he said, don't go to the poor areas, then it will become karma kanda. He told Jaiapataka said we went to one of those like typhoons in Bengal. We went and distributed prasadam on the boat and got a lot of appreciation, and the press Prabhupada said it's very good, distribute prasadam more and more, but don't go to the emergency spots. From our temple or where we go with Sankirtan. It's like in Baroda, our Basur Ghosh Prabhu has a program. They have a big lawn in front of the temple. Every day they have a big pot of khichdi. And in the evening people come, rich people, poor people, doesn't matter. So they come, they get darshan, they hear the holy name. If they stay, they'll hear a little Krishna Katha, they can get books, and they get prasadam. That's temple. Temple means you must get darshan, you must hear the holy name of Krishna, Krishna's message, and you must get prasadam. Any proper temple, Tirupati Mandir, any proper temple, there's an arrangement. Everybody must get prasadam. So Prabhupada wanted that all of our temples should have that. You must get prasadam. You can't leave without prasadam. That's our program. And when there's kirtan, then take some prasadam. But not imitation welfare work. Something else?
Maharaj, you said that sinful reactions we are not committed yet, but we are thinking of committing. So, what would be the reactions for that kind of things? We are not.
There's no reaction from thinking it, but what happens? First you think, then you do. You don't get arrested for thinking about robbing the bank. But because you're thinking about it, the next thing is that you make the plan and then you do it. And then police comes. On account of our past sinful activities, we're thinking, how can I break into the bank? Or we're thinking, how can I enjoy? We're not thinking, how can I satisfy Krishna? How can I please Krishna? That's why we're in the material world. So, Krishna consciousness means the program to change it. So instead of thinking, how can I enjoy next? And how can I serve Krishna next? What's the next program for pleasing Krishna?
Yeah, Prabhuji, when we are trying to spread Krishna consciousness and then we meet all the non-devotees all the time, And when we say that we are going to eat only the prasadam prepared by devotees but by non-devotees, so aren't we creating a barrier, because then the other non-devotees will always think, okay, these guys are totally different, then they have a different things. So aren't we
So
creating
are we
barrier?
creating a barrier because we're different, that we don't eat the food that you eat? So you have to cross that barrier. Yes, you give them our food.
No, that's fine, definitely.
That crosses the barrier. Actually, people will respect that. I have my BBT manager for BBT Africa. He formerly was working for the government of South Africa, and quite a high government post dealing with energy affairs. So one of the places he went was Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is an important place for petroleum and so on. So high-level meeting for ministers and government representatives. And naturally they offered dinner. But because he was a devotee, he wasn't taking so many things that were being distributed. So then one of the members of the royal family, one of the Saudi princes, asked him that, I see that you're not taking all of these things. What's what? So he said, well, I'm vegetarian. So then the prince arranged the next time he went out and found a Brahmin cook and had him prepare all vegetarian food. He didn't think that, what's with this guy, we're all Muslims and we eat cows even, and he's not eating anything, and he's vegetarian. Nobody thought that, how can I please him? So of course, this devotee was thinking Krishna Prasadam, but because the prince had gone through so much trouble, then in his mind he offered everything to Krishna and accepted. But people actually respected. And that's actually the principle. The people have no principles, but if you have some principle, people will actually respect that you have some standard. They'll be curious. Well, why is it that you explain? Why won't you take tea? Well, you see. Why won't you have a cigarette? Well, you see. Why won't you eat this and this? Well, you see. And actually, that was the next thing, that after accepting the vegetarian food, then he started talking with the prince about Krishna consciousness. And the prince was very interested. Openly talking with him about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So people will respect that. Even now it's like when I first joined, if you were vegetarian, that was very weird. How do you live? How do you get protein? Now if you say you're vegetarian, people will say, cool. Or they'll say, yeah, I've given up, and whatever, I've given up red meat, or I've given up this and that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you're farther along than they are. They're trying to go in that direction. You're already there. Actually, if you follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, you're ahead of the curve. Like Prabhupada told us, no smoking. And back then, every airline there was a smoking section. The left side there was no smoking, and the right side there was smoking. Every public building, smoking, everywhere smoking. They finally caught up with us a little bit. So now on the airline, we don't smoke and no one else can smoke. In the public buildings, we don't smoke and no one else can smoke. All this propaganda, don't drink and drive. Well, we don't drink and drive. In fact, we don't even drink. So actually these principles in the mode of goodness, or on the level of Krishna consciousness, put you in the highest position. So when you're in the highest, why are you doing it? Well, because we're living like this. What is that? Civilized life. We don't say to them, you're uncivilized, but they'll appreciate that this is a culture. And actually it's the civilized culture. It's culture in the mode of goodness or transcendental culture. And people will become curious, and you can explain to them, give them books, give them philosophy, or give them Krishna Prasadam. It's not that we've taken a vow that unless we're at the temple, no. Like when the devotees travel around in Bombay, or Sridhar Swami especially, I remember, he always used to keep some prasadam in the glove compartment. And the little kids would come, begging for food. And he would ask them, chant Hare Krishna. They would say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, give them some laddu, something. And they'd be happy, more happy than if he'd given them money, I think. Money they have to hand over to somebody else, but prasadam they get to. We're not misers. Devotees generously distribute prasadam. But it's not to get some mundane adoration, government recognition. It's actually to benefit people. Lokanam hitakam. So people will appreciate that this person has some higher way of life. Prabhupada told a story that during the British time, during the Raj in India, there were some workers in a maybe government office or something. And was it Muslim or British? One way or the other. Anyway, the man's, the Malik, the in charge, what is this tilak? From tomorrow, I don't want to see anyone wearing tilak. Otherwise, you're fired. So the next day, everyone came without tilak, except one man. He stubbornly came with his tilak. Then the in charge said, okay, from today, only this man can wear tilak.
That's good.
Something else? Now, I've said all of these things, but then, are we actually going to do them? Because the whole world is full of Pringles and Dingles and but it's so much better, actually, if you arrange your life in such a way. We have all the better things anyway. Pringles are nothing compared to samosas. We have so many thousands and thousands of things. Snacky stuff we have better than they have. Sweet stuff we have better than they have. Whatever it is, we already have better. Plus we prepare it for Krishna, which makes it transcendentally better. We don't need what they're supplying. We don't need what they're supplying. We need that relationship with Krishna. So if you think how to implement these things in your family life, I don't know, you'll have a better program. Your friends will be envious. And they don't have to be envious. You say, here, take it. What they buy, what they prepare, is really inferior. When you look at, first of all, you look at the labels, and generally, if it's not health food, then it's all mono, trio, dio, sodium. And who knows under what conditions it's prepared, and in what factory where they also prepare whatever else. And that's the first thing. And even when it's organic and it's natural and it's this and that, still it can't compare. It can't compare. Then someone says, but I'm traveling, what can I do? Then you make the arrangement. Fruits you can get anywhere. Milk products you can get anywhere. Juice you can get anywhere. And if you know I'm going on a trip, this, that, you arrange that I'll bring with me. Devotees used to go in Eastern Europe on extended book distribution campaigns, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They would bake this black bread in Germany and they would have a stock and they'd have their own persona. So we can also do that. Arrange our life in such a way that we can live by taking Krishna persona. Any other question? Muchante Sarvata. All right, shall we stop here? Thank you all very much.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness BVJaiAdvaita Swami Maharaj ki jai.
So we have 5 to 10 minutes kirtan, then we'll break for prasad.
Krishna Krishna Hare
AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada
Ki
Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrada Acharya Stotis Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopavinath Sham Kun Radha Kunigi Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Pradeep Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Shamana Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.